So good evening and welcome to the Donny Che Gang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from the Full Speed Events Old Beer Cellar Studios. This is indeed the roof of the Old Beer Cellar. We are deep underground, quite literally, in the words of Jimmy McCoy. We're not going further underground, thank goodness, and we're not going underwater at the moment, which is always a bonus because it's nice dry weather out there. Certainly great weather, and been an interesting week already so far. We had a packed week, yes. Last time we were out on the Chain Gang with two Velaskin giveaways. Velaskin, of course, supporting the members of DCG Gang, and it was Velaskin Travel Training Camp Week. Now, somebody who is definitely experiencing new things is Russ, because we have great news. Russ is now a daddy bear officially, and at the moment is not going to be with us for a little while, oddly enough, because he has been busy with Lisa, Mummy Bear, creating Baby Bear. And Baby Bear is now back in with the world, born on Monday, and £8, 13-ounce boy, if I remember correctly. I know it's definitely a boy, and definitely all good. Things going well, and at the moment, Russ just keeping an eye on them. Going to be in a couple more days, then be back out with us. So we have the one and only Wolf, Jimmy Allen, with us for the foreseeable future. So whilst the bear is away, the Wolf will play. And anyone who's ridden with Jimmy will know, not only is he capable of being in at the kill, he can also instigate the hunt and definitely orchestrate how that pack works really, really well. Really looking forward to see just how the pack behaves over the next few weeks. And Jimmy's got some great routes as well. We deliberately came off what was a lot of new routes in the Velaskin week with the new Chasing the Sun. We've got some new routes coming up that we've not used before on Nonna's week. That's next week. And in fact, we've got new routes coming up again that we haven't done on Gritty Week at the end of the month. In between are some of our classics, some old favourites, sometimes with a little bit of a spin, but going to be very, very similar. So let's have a look at Jimmy. I think he's down on the line at the moment. We will try and have a word with Jimmy. So first, Jimmy's routes that he's actually going to be dealing with is going to be Cass Pass. And Cass Pass, one of our favourite routes for the Donny Che Gang. It is indeed one of the toughest routes as well to hold together. But we kind of work on the fact that if anybody can hold it together, it is Jimmy Allen. Whether or not that is going to be the case remains to be seen. So let's show you where we're heading first of all today. So we're going out on to Cass Pass, which is essentially a great big loop. So we come out from the pens and we come onto the circuit proper and go through the Marina Sprint, which is where the circuit will finish in 2 full laps out and around the island, and then start to make our way inland, which is where we start to get a little bit more gradient over the Aqueduct KOM, and then come back around and down. We're just going to have a double check on this because I suspect that is not the Cass Pass map that has appeared on your screens. So let's see if we can bring you something a little bit more looking like Cass Pass. By the wonders of technology, hopefully we are going to be able to find you something a little bit better than that one. But it is essentially where that route comes in. We're going to turn left at the Petite, at the KOM, and then drop back down. It's 23k round. 2 laps of that will bring us back in a total of 290 metres. That is going to take us around. Jason Stevens is our red beacon, and we will have, of course, the red beacon making sure everybody is held together in the right place at the right time as we make our way up over the lumps and bumps. And you can see here that profile, and this is the correct Cass Pass, so because we can rely on VeloViewer to do the business. So from the start, going out in a clockwise direction over the Aqueduct KOM onto the Petite KOM, and then that big downhill drop through to the finish. The man who is charged with keeping everybody together, the one and only Jimmy Allen. Jimmy, how are you? How are you, Jimmy? Evening. It's good to see you. Good to have you on the ride. We knew this was coming for, oddly enough, nearly 9 months. strangely enough. But it's going to be maybe a little bit longer stint than normal, where you just have to stand in for a day or two, because, of course, great news that Russ has now got a baby bear.
You know what's ahead in all those sort of ventures, and just fantastic times that you don't really appreciate it until it starts happening. And when you've got your own son or daughter, it's just absolutely fabulous, life defining. So I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's going to be enjoying every minute of it, and we know he deliberately waited to actually have a family when he finished racing, and he's done that, and now I think he's going to really enjoy it. He's going to absolutely love every minute of it, and as you say, it's definitely a whole new experience for him. Whilst being with teammates is a bit like having a whole load of kids sometimes on a team. It's definitely not quite the same thing. But speaking of a whole bunch of people to keep an eye on, don't forget, we have, of course, the Chain Gang tonight, and we are going around Cast Pats. It's quite tough, isn't it? Although we have that fast start out, that doesn't actually make things necessarily any easier, because with the draft, it opens up quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, but I said we've done this a few times now, haven't we? So I think everybody knows the drill. We've got a flat start. We've got the Aqueduct KOM, which always splits on the other side, doesn't it? And then we've got the Petite KOM, which is, what is it? I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, then obviously it splits on the other side. Yeah, but it's going to split a little bit. So long as people are sensible, we'll bring it back together. And as always, we'll have a bit of a thrash at the end. But we might even be time for a little sprint on that first sprint after. Is it 11 kilometres? We'll see how we are.
It's going to be the pavé sprint. It all depends on how well people behave, I guess. So nice incentive for people to keep themselves under orders and head where they are. We've got just over 20 seconds, Jimmy, so I'm going to let you dive off. Hopefully we'll catch up with you somewhere around the circuit a little bit later.
Yeah, no worries.
Cheers, Jimmy.
Catch you in a bit. Right, bye.
So great to catch up with Jimmy. Don't forget, we're heading round Cast Pats, and I think our riders are just about to leave those pens at the moment, which is going to be really good to see Jimmy in charge of everybody. A big thank you, of course, to Ben from Velo Viewer. And if I'm not much mistaken, I think we can hear the riders up and underway. So let's dive in to the ride here and catch up with our riders out on the course. It looks to me like Jimmy already just rolling everybody out and away from those pens live here on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel. And Jimmy, our yellow beacon for tonight. We'll drop some stats in because we're in with the man who's in charge of all the stats. It is Ben from Velo Viewer. So Ben's heart rate at the moment, 99, 78 beats per minute and 109 watts. So just nicely rolling around. Just tucked alongside our yellow beacon and Jimmy, so you can just see Ben in there, and as you can see, just setting out on our way in, we're going to come past the right hand turn on the other side of this bridge, and we're going to be heading out, and of course this is the first of the paternity leave from the Donny Chain Gang for Russ. So our riders underway. Slightly smaller bunch than always to be expected as we move in towards those lighter nights, and great to see everybody in there. Now, quick reminder, if you are dropping backwards and forwards, please guys make sure that you let the beacons know. Our red beacon is going to be keeping a track on everybody behind, just waiting to see him pop up on our screens. But at the moment, certainly looking to me like everybody rolling away nicely at the moment. So just seeing who's got off the line. So Jimmy on with the rules, dead easy. Stay off the front, don't go on the front, don't be silly. Number 2, don't chase the front, too right. Nobody needs you to chase the front. All you're doing is making life hard for everybody. Rule number 3, stay around yellow. Yellow beacon visible to everybody. Rule number 4, don't panic. Even when the red beacon is running late. Good to have you with us, Jason. Looks like Techie's shoes for Jason just jumping on, but Jason now in with us. Brilliant. Don't panic is absolutely critical. Really simple. It's a great rule. We'll let Jimmy continue on there. It looks like Jason with the Wi-Fi issues. So Jason jumping in. Let's have a quick check. So Jason on that nice blue Swift bike. So it is, Neil from the Crosscast. It's a good job. He's good at the day job. It is a cast paternity leave. That's really bad. You see Mr. Williams making it only just making it on time, but making it, which is good to see. Looks like Claire Richardson with issues on the start line. So Claire, jump out, jump back in again. You'll make your way back in, and as you can see, Jason, our last one, just about on the road. So it looks like Barry Kipling just working his way uphill, jump into the group. If you're a late joiner, essentially, you make sure that you're hitting at least 2.5 watts per kilo as you come in to the gang, and you'll find yourself dropping in near the front of the bunch and work your way. Find our yellow beacon. Jason, I think he's going to be able to push on here and just sit at the back of this group, because with the numbers that we've got, everybody should be able to see everyone. No excuses today for not seeing everybody, because there's such huge numbers. So our riders run along. Looks like Dale Williams' heart rate monitor is dead. Well, it doesn't matter, your machine anyway. I didn't realise it actually ticked one in. So lots of our riders up and riding nice and smoothly, very quickly into this bunch. In fact, if we zoom our map in, we're going to have to do a real zoom, and you can see it is a really nice compact group in the main bunch. And Jason just tucked on the back there as our riders come out and away from town. They're going to be heading out in towards the countryside, and basically we have 14k of flat to take us in and through to the base of the first proper climb, and that is on the far side of the Aqueduct KOM. So of the sprint onto the far side of the Aqueduct KOM, it's pretty much flat even over the Aqueduct KOM. It's only a 400 metres run now. As Jimmy says, we will have a potential of a sprint. We need to make sure that we get back together really quickly if that's going to be the case. But with us having a few numbers that knocked off the top, we're going to have a little bit of a run through. So first of all, let's focus on Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, the man who is going to be rolling us out here. So Jimmy in the Mondrian inspired kit, that will be a Claire style kit, riding on a set of deep wheels, but not full on dis on here. Quite a lot of Swift Concept 1 bikes, the Tron bike, and good to see that lots of people on those. In fact, today finally, even I managed to get a Tron bike today. Not that I've got any intention of using it anywhere. Not if I can help it. It's much better, more fun bikes to put in there, but there you go. Now let's have a little look. We've had Ben from Bellevue in the game, so let's have a little bit of a check. We've got Neil Morn on board. Good to see Neil in here. Neil from Stellaton, one of our regular fast men, and big sprint at the end if he goes for this midway through. Looks like Paul Mallon is in, and again Paul should be tucked in here. I think Paul in the SZR blue and yellow, very appropriate colour. Good to see that we've got Neil from Gritty jumping in with the gang as well. And this, of course, a 3 chain gang week, so 3 chain gangs this week, with us having the WOW DCG tomorrow. That's going to be on a really great course. Looking forward to that, because that is actually on a course that I've wanted to put in for a while. You can't use it on the standard chain gang, you just can't make it work into the distances. However, on the WOW DCG, it's going to hopefully fit perfectly, and that is over in Richmond for the Libby Hill after party. Essentially heading out and around Fan Flats, then dropping down with the climb up Libby Hill to finish. Been used in the ZRLs, it's been used fairly regularly in some of the races, but something that's never fitted in before, so we're going to be out there. Emma, the WOW DCG beacon, going to be up on the going to be our leader in charge of the gang for the WoW DCG, and looking forward to that. Good to see Chris Ball on here. I know Chris from Bolsover also, but seeing a lot of the people from the Donny Che gang out on the Red Round over at Mansfield over at the weekend. Chris, one of our regular riders and member of the DCG gang, tucked nicely in there. So a little bit of a roll back on there. I think that was going to be the man from Veloskin himself, pulling everyone in. Now, good to see Trevor Crehan back in with us. Trevor, a winner last week in the Veloskin competition. So good to have Trevor in with us. Bobby Mason. Now, Bobby, some great rides last week. Really, really impressed by the rides from Bobby last week. He was absolutely flying. Let's have a little interesting chat going on. The other news of the week that's less good is that the A57 has been shut now to all traffic, including pedestrians and cyclists who don't live on the climb, and it's going to be manned 24/7. Sheer volume of bodies, and gotta say, looked like an absolutely amazing time to go climb up through State Pass, something that not everybody's able to do, but there have been a large number of people in there behaving themselves. There's been one or two, a minority from what I can gather, talking to people on the inside. The minority were in it for the majority, coming down, thinking that because it's closed road, there's no vehicles at all, there are local residents, etc. And there have been a number of close calls, add to which there's quite a lot of people standing on the road and looking at the landslides where it's moved, which is great, apart from if it moves again and everybody gets injured, then that's not going to be great news. So apparently shut now to everybody, including cyclists, so I hope you got your chance in whilst you can. Now, just riding in with Tiff Fletcher here, one of our regular riders on the chain gang. Going to be great to see how she goes tonight. Remember, see if she can manage all three, because Tiff, of course, able to ride on the WoW DCG on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we are still in France. We're heading to Paris, and we're going to be on the Latisse Express. Now, Andy Singleton in with us. Looks like Matt Gilmore, one of our real fast men, just tucked in nicely here. Matt in the yellow there, so he looks like he's just keeping this nice and smooth. Good to see we've got Beefy from Cycleways, so Beefy in a similar, choosing a nice blue and yellow kit, yellow Tron Mike blue kit, and Colin Bell, one of our regular riders. Great to see him on here. So it looks like away from Colin there, just as we jump off him. Mr. Catlin just tucked in there, nicely keeping it smooth in there. I think I've seen a few more of our regulars flying about. You can see we've got Gareth Mason back on again. Gareth on the disc wheels. Gareth, one of our fast finishers, a very, very quick rider indeed. Got Tracy Seeley, is Tracy the Terminator 2.0. Tracy, one of our regular riders, and wearing that Tour of Wartopia jersey. I think, if my eyes don't deceive me, the bright jersey, replacing that Rafa kit that we used to see Seeley in. So pink Tron bike, pink hat, and that WRS kit on the side. They're looking pretty smooth. Nice revs, 93 revs per minute. And just ticking the watts to sit in the pack there, and riding comfortably inside that group. So this group all riding along pretty easily at the moment. Our riders just starting to make the way along the coastline from the island, and now on the coastline that will run them across, and start to head out a little bit further away from the marina and start to head in towards the river that runs inland. You see we've got Tom Lindley in with us. Tom, of course, starting off riding and racing on the Donny Che gang, and good to see he's out at the weekend on the Red Ride as well from that Mansfield Road Club ride. And Tom, Young Tom Lindley, as he will eternally be known even when he's old, is in there. So good to see Tom tucked in there. Let's have a little bit of a check. Who else is running in through the group? Good to see Mr. Clark back in with us again. He's tucked in here. Could be in the blues or in that squad rocket. And good to see he's keeping the blue of the squadron alive nicely in the jersey. Trevor Crehan in here. Trevor back in after a bit of a break. So good to see Trevor tucked in. Very recognisable kit. As well in there. Obviously those bright kits makes my life marginally easier, that is for sure. So the group running well, keeping it ticking along by the look of it, just working our way through. What's like Jim Flynn in here, Neil Birmingham in as well, Taylor Leach in here, looks like Elliot Saxton tucked in. So it looks like Tom Elliott in here. Yeah, he is indeed. So good to see we've got Tom in there. Just going to work our way through those rudders. That's looking pretty smooth at the moment. Scotland in there, OCK in as well. Ted in with us. Ted a winner on the Velaskin. On that Velaskin week, Ted riding in that squadron jersey, that dark blue jersey as well. Now our riders just starting to make the way in away from the island. You can just see that coastline just offset at the moment. We're going to go a little bit closer before we do a proper turn in and up the next set of bends. But at the moment, it certainly looks to me like everybody riding on. Just Mont Saint Michel in the distance. The chain gang rolling its way out nice and smoothly, and a great start to the gang. Everybody getting out nice and safe. So, Jimmy Allen going to go for the brave move of calling a sprint when we head in towards the pave sprint. Remember, as Jimmy says, key to this, you'll know the smart riders. They start at the back of the group and use the entire aerodynamic slipstream, the drag, the draft effect from the bunch to pull everybody through. Now, just going to jump in, try and get ourselves in. Try not to jump too far back to our own avatar. And sat down on that start line. Just going to keep a check on who's at the back. So it looks like Mr. Keyworth just distanced a little bit. Needs to just push on into that group at the moment. Otherwise, he's going to find himself distanced. If you don't sit in that group and find yourself distanced, then it makes life a little harder for the Red Beacon having to work to pull everybody in. Keyworth capable of doing 3 watts per kilo. I think just coming in, and you can just see Jason Stevens just dropping back onto the end of the group just to give another draft for Keyworth to jump onto. So Stevens just working his way back, and you're just going to see them picking up the pace together and getting back into that group. Here we go. So Stevens with a bit of a kick, and then just going to pull Keyworth back in. Red Beacon is actually one of the hardest jobs. You have a heck of a workout on it. Just trying to keep everybody in to the gang and bring everybody back in. Looks like Craig Genther was just dropping back there now. I think Craig are probably going to drop towards the back of the group to look for that sprint. We're making our way across. We've still got a little way to go to get into the sprint. So we're going to see who's got the fast legs on them today coming up for that sprint. Who doesn't sprint, who may be in at the finish. We're going fairly early. So is it going to be Kieran? Will it be Dale? I think it's likely to be one of the Kierans. I personally think it's likely to be Kieran Smith. However, Kieran Cook is definitely fast. Will Gilmore go for one of the sprints? It's going to be very interesting because Matt Gilmore, we know, can put out some monster numbers. The question is, will he do it when he knows that he's going to be in for the hunt on the overall? Just coming in and across the next river. Now we've got the long straightaway with the river to our left-hand side. You can just see at the back of this group, essentially, this is your sprint bunch. They're just laying off the back of the group, waiting for it to go. Gary Licence in there, definitely sprinted. Dale Williams is there in that pink, on that pink Tron bike. You can see Kieran in there with the flat cap on the orange Tron bike. Matt Gilmore in the yellow is tucked back here. Craig Genther back here. Tim Cooper's lining up in the black and green as well. Let's have a little look. Neil from the Crosscast back here. Come on, Tiff. We're going to see Tiff Fetcher putting a faster time as well. You can just see this group just holding off. We'll come away from the river, then we go on to our long run in. We go through past the sunflower fields in towards town. Going to be really interesting to see who's going to take that away. Still plenty of time actually to get to the back, so go back too early, you're going to waste energy just trying to hang on, not getting as much draft as you can. Go back too late and you're going to be sprinting off the front, and that basically is just a total waste of energy because the draft effect is big enough that you're going to be in a real trouble now. So Neil from the Crosscast aiming for a 99% PB on VeloViewer. If you don't know what he's talking about, dive onto the VeloViewer site. It is the thing that gives you the best stats in the business. If you are a total stats geek, if you love your data, then VeloViewer is powered by Strava, but it gives you so much depth. It's absolutely brilliant. Now let's see if anyone's going to be able to get that today. It is tough stuff to get that level of commitment, but Neil's going for it. It'd be great to see if he manages to do so. So on our way down through the sunflowers, currently on a little bit of a downward trajectory, down that little bit of a slope, just picking up a little bit of speed. You can just see in the distance, it's just starting to move in towards the sprint town. This is the Pave Sprint now on the map on the right hand side. You can just about make out top right hand side of the screen. The archway is on its way in and through. And this is going to be about who has the best kick. Who's going to take away the honours today? Now, I think a lot of people's hot favourites. This man here now, that sprint is going. Who's got the kick? We're going to follow Kieran Smith on his way through. You can see all of these sprinters have gone hard. Look at the numbers here. Kieran Smith, 21.8 watts per kilo on the kick up to speed. They're going to come in and hit that green light, and it is going to be incredibly quick. Look at the pace as they come rocketing through, and you can just see Kieran Smith working his way right the way through to the front. Who is it going to be? It is Kieran Smith who takes a top spot at the moment. So you can just see it is Smith from Williams. Then it's going to be Bannister, Sharp, Nathan from Velobance. Then it's going to be Ben Lowe from VeloViewer in 6th place. Then Matt Gilmore in the women. It's Tiff Fletcher. Then Tracy Seeley, followed by Claire Jessup. Then in the men, so it is Kieran Smith, then Dale Williams, it's going to be Bannister, Sharp, Nathan from Velobance, then Ben Lowe, Matt Gilmore, it's going to be Dobson McCarthy as they go through super fast times all the way down there, and you can just see a 17.53 from this man. That is Kieran Smith. So time for a regroup, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the climb off the Aqueduct KOM. We're going to work our way back through here. I'm loving Mr. Forrester's is cycling at one. So Tiff Fletcher getting the green jersey of the women's in the women's fastest sprint time. We're going to work our way back to our red and yellow beacon. The gang just holding the together. This is the red beacon group just ticking along at the back and just keeping that pace in there. So Kieran Smith did that with no power-ups as well. 17.53, that is a phenomenal time. We do know he's a fast rider in real life. Super, super quick now. Message from Jimmy for those at the back. Time to push on, guys. Get into that pack. So 22 minutes on the clock, time to diving. If you are currently distanced by any kind of gap, looks like Davison is Liam. Jump out, jump back in, go in for a late start. I'll get you straight back into the group. Much easier than trying to chase on for umpteen kilometres due to dropouts. Looks like Mr. Woodall tucked in the back here and the group in here. Absolute class. Because if we get our helicopter up in the air, as we come onto that Aqueduct KOM, everybody has stretched the legs on the sprint, and as we make that turn, you can just see the group is all together. Great to see. So Neil from the crosshair /2 settings of his PB, nicely done. So we'll follow our riders up on to the top of the climb, the top of the Aqueduct KOM. We're not going to be worried about that. Jimmy definitely not calling 2 in a row. That would be really tough stuff. But the way everybody's come back together is really great to see as we make our way up over the top. We are going to just see if we can get hold of Jimmy, because I think that was one of our most successful sprints, and some phenomenal times in there as well, which is great to see. So Jimmy keeping control of the bunch, making sure everybody is rolling smoothly, and making sure everybody had that absolutely nailed, which is very, very quick times as well in there. I don't think I've seen such fast times for a long time, and as you can see, just going over the Aqueduct KOM, it is definitely looking like that group, although a little bit fractured over the top as we've seen. I think it's rule 4, don't panic. It will all come back together again comfortably. So good group there, just making the way over. Let's dive in with Jimmy, who should be on the end of the phone line. Jimmy, that was amazing stuff over there. Great to see.
Yeah, pretty fast that, wasn't it? I think a few people fancied that, to be honest. I saw people flying past.
There was a big pack at the back of riders who sat off and laid off. And because there was a lot of people went for it, there was a lot of people moving through. That really, really resulted in some incredibly quick times. A 17.53, I think, for Kieran. But we're seeing people, I mean, Neil from the crosscast, he's absolutely flying at the moment. I'm glad it's the end of the cross season. I'm not going to have to ride against him anymore because he's absolutely flying. But he's got a 2-second PB in there as well. And that massive people coming through. 2-second PB on, a sub 20-second sprint. That is some going.
That's rapid, yeah. That is a big difference, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, just jealous now, aren't you, really? That's what it is.
I'm keeping my powder dry. That's what I'm doing.
Is that what it is?
Sprint. Yeah. First blood to Kieran, though, eh? And so it's been just to see what happens. I think it's a course for Gilmore tonight, isn't it? He must be licking his lips at the prospect of that final climb just to sort of hurt some people. So it'll be good. It'll be good to see what happens.
Definitely. We know that Kieran can climb. And he can climb well,
yes.
But can he stay with Gilmore? That's going to be much harder. I mean, Kieran's power numbers there, I saw 21.8 watts per kilo.
All right, okay.
At one point. So if he can put the power down, maybe tone that down a little bit, but keep it longer, he should be in touch. But it's deceptive, isn't it, the Petite KOM? We're going to come into it in a little while. But it is really, really draggy, even on the run in, and that starts to take its toll on people. And I think if the group's careful, we might hold it together over the top. But so far, everyone's been working well, and you can tell the red beacon is working at the back, but not really being stretched.
That's always a good sign, isn't it, when you can keep the red beacon on, and it just means that everybody's been sensible. It's been nice so far, and we've been able to have that sprint, and I think we're coming back together now. And it might split a little bit on the climb, but as long as nobody's daft, and don't be the one to get the KOM. Don't be that person, and then everything will be fine.
It's really simple, isn't it? I mean, people. Yeah, we do have a number of cameras watching different people front and back, and anyone who disappears off the front, and obviously we can take pictures of it, and we do get in touch with people if they go for a flyer and find out why. But of course, when we hit the KOM, everybody can see exactly who was up there and if there were any gaps, because it comes up on everybody's screen. It's really, really obvious. And it's definitely a way not to win friends and influence people. Rip it up before they go.
Yeah, because the thing is, it'll split on the way down. That's the thing, and just takes ages to get it back together, doesn't it? So it'd be nice if we just get as close as possible. I mean, it's going to split a little bit. I'll be amazed if it doesn't. But as long as we've got, relatively small gaps, we'll get it back together and then get ready for the big shebang.
Indeed. And it is all about having zero gaps, no meters whatsoever. You can't afford to have even fractions of a second as we go over the top of the KOM, or we're in trouble. Yeah. Literally, anybody thinks of being clever by just having a metre or two gap or hanging off the back a metre or two, you really do cause big splits. And it might be that you can get across if you're midway through, but the people behind you might not be able to get across. And it's definitely not fair on the other riders who can't make that power up and get across. So the more everybody works together, it's a key point, isn't it, as we go over the top. So we'll see how that is. We're not far away, actually, to be honest, before we start taking that turn. We're just coming into it. At least it's only up the Petite KOM and not up to the top of the Von Top, eh?
Thank goodness, yeah.
Definitely.
So it's a nice little climb, though. It's little steps in there, so it's a little bit tactical. So, you can make a few efforts, but then there's little bits where you can sort of shelter a little bit as well. So it's good fun.
Definitely a good climb. Well, good luck, Jimmy. I will try and catch up with you at the end. Probably not between now and then, if I'm brutally honest, because I think you'll have your hands full.
All right, mate. See you at the end then.
Cheers, Jimmy. Thanks. Great to catch up with Jimmy there. Our riders working well. And you can just see this group just holding together. And as we just said, it's absolutely critical. If a gap goes 10 from the back, those 10 riders behind are in trouble now. If there's a really strong rider in there, they are going to be able to get across the gap. But there might be somebody behind who isn't, and they will be left. And it will literally then mean that we spend kilometre after kilometre just getting everybody back together rather than leaving the group able to pull everyone in. So this is where it's key to keep that pace, that pressure down on the front. No wannabe heroes. This is all about holding at the back and holding it together. As everybody knows, we've done this route so many times. This is key to keep the group together. This climb. This is where people get a nice check of just what is happening and where. So this is where our riders are able to see just how hard it is, whether they are going to be needing to ease off, whether they're going to need to work hard, where they need to put the pressure. Remember, don't chase the front, don't chase the back. If you're on the front, get off it, Mr. Williams. Mr. Mason, I know it's unusual for Mr. Mason to be on the front on a climb. Get off the front. If you're on the front, don't sit there. You will be causing gaps a little bit further back. Doesn't matter, Dale, get back to yellow. It's really easy. If there's a gap between the yellow, that will cause problems. It means that the go will be late or not happen. This is where it pays. I know 2.5 for you is like nothing. Dale Williams has like 25 watts per kilo in his back pocket. He just doesn't tend to use them. He's a real power monster, and he's going to be in there at the kill. And it is hard. This is where it's really key. Dale said he doesn't usually get to be on the front on the way uphill, mate. I know that feeling well. And this is where it's all about feathering that effort, making sure you get that effort right. So can we define the Vesuvius splits and go down the far side as a group? Going to be really, really tricky to do. Can't have any gaps anywhere. Can't be any breaks in the draft. The group has to be together. If it doesn't, then it will really end up in trouble. Now that yellow beacon is rolling at 2.5 watts per kilo, and I think if we roll our way back towards it, I think pretty much everybody just tucked in the group here. Tom Hager and Rich Dobson just sitting on that red beacon there. Looks like Tom Hetton just on the back here with Jimmy Allen. And this is where it's going to be key, keeping it all together. Interesting that Davison has chosen to chase here, so I'm going to actually just take a little bit of a roll back because I think Liam Davison trying to pull the group back. He was dropped off with tech issues out of sight, but now starting to close his way onto the back of the group here. So this is where it's about keeping that pace up. If a gap appears at the back, Jimmy Allen is absolutely sitting on 2.5 watts per kilo like super glue. And that is where the gaps will go. That is when we will see problems for people. So this is where you've got to get in there. Matt Gilmore got time to listen to the music on the way up. Hopefully it's going to keep him at a nice pace and nice tempo. Remember, key here, stay around yellow. The numbers are immaterial. It's about staying with yellow. This is what we like to see. It's pretty much all across the road. And as the yellow beacon collects people on the way up here, just steadily making our way up this climb. And I would imagine that if we can get this together over the top, it will be the first time. If we get the entire group over the top as one with nobody distanced, that will be the first time that that has happened, to my knowledge, on the way over the top. Going to be really difficult to do, but if we manage that with no splits, it'll be the first time ever, I think, with no splits, to get everybody over the top of the climb together at the same time. So, name and shame time. Is there a gap behind you in your rear view mirror? When you press 6, can you not see anybody actually sat on your back wheel? If that's you, time to ease off the pressure on the pedals. Take it easy. Chill out. Maybe just save that energy for later. Let the group come back and relax. So Yellow Beacon, who's been holding that 2.5 watts per kilo. Jimmy sits pretty much in the middle of the weight distribution in the riders on the Donny chain gang. So not the heaviest, not the lightest by any stretch of the imagination. There are some real scary light riders as well. And as you can see, the red beacon, the yellow beacon nicely ticking around these turns. Soon going to have the board of shame up. Let's see who goes in over the top with a big gap. So Liam Davison, well done Kermit. Don't come Monday. Or should that be Thursday? Let's have a watch for everybody else. So our rider's working well. Coming up to these turns. The question is, as our helicopter tracks them up, who's going to be the next on the board of shame? Oh, there's a surprise. Kai Hurst. Let's see what the gap is back. So Kai, Mr. Greenway, Mr. Malin, Mr. Kirk coming through pretty quick. Look how fast they're coming now with these riders on the way through here with Jimmy Allen. A real thick and fast run through. The red beacon coming through now. Almost all the pack through. A few Muppets off the front, one of which won't be coming back again on Thursday. Now the key is stay tight. Don't let those gaps go. Just got a message in. Outstanding, Jimmy. Well done. That is amazing to see. So fantastic. So thank you to everybody who followed Jimmy's instructions of staying around yellow. Vast majority doing exactly what the ride leader says. That's the whole point of being on the ride, otherwise you might just go ride on your own. There'll be at least one rider on their own. So here we go. Over the top, what are the gaps going to be? Where are the gaps going to go? Let's have a little bit of a look. Our red beacon going to do a little bit of mopping. I think if Jimmy's careful on his way down, he could pull most of these back here. Just with Chris Studley here as they drop down here. Now we've got a couple of riders who weren't quite on the wheels just to go down the top. You can see those guys. So Staniford just letting the red beacon go. So great. Thank you very much to Chris for just letting Jason know. Jason now on the chase down. It may well be that he's going to be able to motor through with the riders in front to pick up the back of that group. They're not all that far behind. So Pritchard at the moment chasing Emsley, who's in a little bit of trouble here, so just having to push to get into the back of that yellow beacon pack. Interesting to see what Jimmy does as he hits this flat section here. This is going to be key as to how many people behind get back on here. So the back of the bunch being held by Daryl Tattershaw Waller. as he comes in and through. He's just about to make contact with that group. I think it looks like Sam Emsley, Jeff Saso just about to come on. So let's see if they can make it back. Pritchard's only about 4 seconds, 5 seconds off the back of Saysel at the moment. So this is where following those ride leaders' instructions are absolutely critical to pull everybody back in. So Taylor Leach, Chris Gale, they are coming up at a fair old pace here. Looks like Stevens motoring on. Chris Staniford just tucked in the back there, just releasing that red beacon to go for it. Thank you very much, sir. So our red beacon on a mission now. Let's see how many people they can pick up. That yellow beacon is not yet at the road junction in front, so it's not too bad. It's about 20 seconds or so generally from here. So you can just see some big numbers coming out. Stevens comes up, and you can just see these riders now pushing 3 to 4 watts per kilo. They are going to pick up as a pack, and if they do that, this is going to get on. So they're sitting at 2 watts per kilo in the group. Here comes the chase behind. Gale jumping on. So this is the Red Beacon group. This is what the chain gang's all about. The group at the back pulling its way on after almost everybody's tried to stay with the yellow beacon on the climb. Watching those messages. So Jimmy just keeping the control on the front, stay on the front. Now goes that pack at the back, picking up the riders as they come in and through. And this group are now going to need to work together as they go in and through. Our beacons motoring on through at the moment. So the group are working well together, just trying to get themselves back into that pack. Our Red Beacon group working, coming off the climb and onto that descent over the top of a Cass Pass. It's certainly looking good at the moment. Let's follow their progress through. So here they come, the express train that is the Red Beacon, absolutely motoring its way onto the back. Well done, gang. It looks like Pritchard jumping into the back of that group as well. Absolutely amazing stuff. Tim Cooper working with them as well, and that is what the chain gang's all about. You can just see everybody pushing the way in and through, and this is what we want to see. So brilliant job done by Jason Stevens there, bringing the group in and bringing the group back and in, and taking the pack in and through. That group working well together. Brilliant stuff. So Mr. Keyworth jump onto the back of that group. Mr. Lindley, get in that pack, keep that group together. Jason Stevens saying he's cooked. I'm not surprised, mate. Okay, so call comes in, going up to 3 watts per kilo now. I'm loving Matt Gilmore's call there, saying it should be a late call because of the lack of Spotify. Apparently, Spotify is down globally. Not sure it's connected to the Russian state Spotify, so it shouldn't have been a target of the hackers. So the group are rolling around well together at the moment, so we want to see the pack holding nicely. Back to CDs, back to iTunes once upon a time. Back to CDs, it might be on some vinyl somewhere. That's what we have. So this group working well at the moment. No casualties at the back of the pack. This is what we want to see. Those people who stayed in with the group on the way up over the climb, didn't go off the front, didn't waste energy going too hard on the climb, and now nicely tucked into the group. Who's going to be the first casualty though of the 3 watts per kilo call? It's going to be very, very tight indeed here. Haggard just working his way on to the back. Steve is tucked in nicely. Richardson is in here as well. Keith Richardson, thank you very much, sir, for stepping up to Red Beacon duties. He's going to be Red Beacon, I think, on the 15th, if my memory serves me correctly. Don't quote me on that. It's the right date that we put into Zwift. We've got to say a massive thank you to the guys at Zwift who've been looking after us in a big way. Keith Richardson, one of our real fast riders, doing a great job. Just tucked onto the back of the group here. This group, well, they are all rolling together nicely. Absolutely loving the banter from the group at the moment. We need Spotify to go down more often. I like 7 minutes out of the house. You should do a challenge check at the Factory Golden ticket thing. That'd be cool. So our 2 green jerseys, Tiff Fletcher and Kieran Smith in here. You can see Stefano in with the gang here, rolling nicely along. So Stefano, the rider who is the main man when it comes to keeping the chain gang all looked after at Nonna's, going to be keeping a check on everybody's his week in a couple of weeks' time. So going to be interesting to see. And the go has gone. The go has gone. Now this is when things get really spicy indeed. This is where the big riders who have been saving their power really do put it down, because this is when the action goes at the front and where the back soon starts to split. Let's see where it's going to be a long way. It's almost a full lap here. We're off the island, but only just. And that means it's going to be hard at the back of this group. You can start to see the gaps are opening out. I think our red beacon has worked pretty hard already, so he's going to be heading back. Let's work our way back towards him at the moment and see where those gaps are. So let's have a little bit of a look. Harrison in here, Kipling, Stefano's in here, Trevor Crehan. Let's have a look here. So Mr. Peacock is he's currently our last rider on the road. That's going to count Mr. Hurst, unfortunately, abdicating any rights to having any kind of looking after from the group when he rode away from the group and left him behind. So going to be Stevens who's having a conversation there with Peacock. These are our two riders. Let's see if there's a little chat between them. So Richard Peacock just jumping on the back, fantastic. This is what we want to see. I tell you what, our red beacon's done a great job today. Jason Stevens doing an amazing job, but he's just hanging on for Rich Peacock here. Richard Peacock just trying to roll his way in. Nicely done. Let's have a little look. So red beacon's formed at the back. I think you're going to be joined, sir, by a number of people just watching these riders making their way in and through. And I think there's going to be a few people who start to feel the patience and just see these splits. Fortunately, people are forming groups, which makes a huge difference. So Stevens and Peacock are going to get it together. And then it's going to be Harrison with, I think, Claire Jessup's group here, Jim Flynn, Sir Rodney in here, Trevor Crehan in this group. 4 seconds up the road is Simon Runnett. Simon still feeling the effects of the weekend. Mate, you need to go either 5 seconds up the road or 5 seconds back down the road. One or the other. Don't be Billy No Mates in the middle. We know you. We love you really. Now, this is going to be Stefano, Owen Davis, Bobby Mason, Tim Baggs, Mr. Catlin in here as well. Not too far in front of them, I think they're going to see Chris Pritchard and Alistair Cootie. Now, if they form together, a big old pack, there's still plenty of distance. So it's about making sure you get in there now. The front is sounding like it's still pretty cagey up at the front. Next group on the road, this is group number 3 on the road. You can see 2 and 1 in front. So not all that far from Cootie and Pritchard. This is group 3 now. In this group we've got Andy Scotland, we've got Chris Ball, Barry Kipling in here. See, Barry's in the group again. I think the oldest man on the chain gang, bar none. His octogenarian weight definitely not hindering him. He's not that old, just kidding. Love you really, Barry. Now, going through, he's got Garford, he's got Haywood in here, got Moore in here. This is the group pushing nicely on here. Cooper tucked into this pack. Donahoe just on the front of that group, just about. He's got that pack behind him. Now, let's have a little bit of a look up here. This is where things get very entertaining, because this is group number 1. Let's see how they go. An ambitious move. That's an understatement of the year. Anybody going at this stage really has got their work cut out. Who's gone hard? Who's gone early? We're going to try and get ourselves right up to the front. It's easier said than done today. See if we can actually get up to Craig Genther. Oh, interesting. Craig Genther and Dale Williams. Now, are they getting some sliding room? Is Dale getting a little bit of room? It's not always his favourite climb, going over those slightly longer climbs. But Dale Williams has done a serious breakaway before. Sprinted his way in through to the finish. He does like France, I think, and going to be interesting. So here we go, the breakaway with 4 seconds now. Are they going to do a Strada Bianchi job and right off the front of the group? And the group will be left looking at each other. Still not really a reaction. This is a big pack of riders. It's almost too big to work. You can just see everybody tucked in here. And I think they're so big, they're not going to work really hard. So we're going to see who's going to go. Now, this is going to be interesting. I think if they put the finger out, pull the finger out, they could get some distance. Are they going to leave them there to cook? Well, at the moment, Bannister's just moving up. Kettering. They're all rolling around the front and taking a turn. I think we're going to see Williams go backwards quite quickly here. He's already in danger of being caught. So Williams at the moment, here they come. The express train mops him up. The whole of the wolf pack swallowing him up. The wolf himself, Jimmy Allen, nicely tucked in there. Now Genther's going to be brought back, but they need to attack. What they can't afford to do is take a big group down into the finish, because the big sprinters will enjoy themselves on that sprint finish. This group now stretching out the gap to the riders behind. This is your lead. It looks like Woodall at the moment just stretching the legs a little bit here at the front of the group, and big pack still. The gap has opened up. It's actually going to be now 44 seconds back to pack number 2, 44 seconds to group 2. I was going to attempt to tell you how many riders are in here. I'm giving it up as a bad job. So nobody got spat out of that, Mr. Williams, in the slightest. You weren't going anywhere near hard enough. This is all about keeping the pace quick. And you can see everybody here comfy with this. Birmingham's in here, Matt Gilmore's in here. We've got Cooper in here. We've got Kirk in here. The finish going to be in there. Now let's have a little look. Kieran in there. That's a good... Yeah, Kieran is definitely going to be in there. Flat cap at the back, orange bike. Neil from the Crosscast looking to see if he can get himself another PB. It's not going to happen this time round, not going quick enough. So here they come. This is your leading group on the way in. We've just sat in and watching Dale, who we saw get picked up. The gap's opening up at the front as they come underneath the windmill, and looks like another speculative dig off the front. So Craig Genther going again. Craig clearly wanting to give these people a workout. He wants to give this group a little bit of a kick. He's shaking it up. And at the moment, he keeps on just breaking clear. He's making everybody stay honest, at least, because he's keeping their watts per kilo up. But at the moment, nobody being tailed off the back of the group. This is still not quick enough in that pack to split people up. But we are heading now from this pavé sprint across, and we're going to be heading in towards the Aqueduct KOM. That's where things get really, really interesting indeed, because as you can see, we're just watching back and from Craig Genther here. He's got about 3 seconds. Woodall doing a little bit of work here to pull him back. Spencer just tucked in there. Nobody getting close at the moment to pulling him back. He's doing a good ride here. Great attacking ride. We're dropping a ride on, no problems at all. So that gap at the moment still holding at 3 to 4 seconds. The wolf back behind really is just sat there. The Donny Chain Gang group number 1 currently sitting at 4 seconds off our leader. The gap back now to group number 2, headed by Tim Cooper at the moment. That's 1 minute 11 with Chris Ball, Simon Runnett, Beefy in there, Carlos, Barry Kipling, Tim Baggs, Owen Davis, Vin Donahoe just about hanging on to the back, as is Dave Finch. I think Owen Davis, Lone Rider, Alistair Cootie. It's a huge, huge group in pack number 2. And then it's going to be about 2:38 back to our next group. And our Red Beacon currently sitting at 3:57 down on this man, Craig Genther. So those gaps, the groups not particularly in tiny numbers. There's a big pack here still. And that go, go, go has gone very early. It's gone quick. It's not gone on a climb. It came as we came away from the shoreline. And we're now coming up on to the Aqueduct KOM. I don't know that we're going to see a decisive breakaway here, but we are, I think, going to see a little bit of a move, and it's the Wolf himself who's gone here. He's gone off the front. Now, can anybody go with Jimmy Allen? This is when things get very interesting. Jimmy Allen going to be looking. He's going to take away, I think, the KOM here. The KOM stands at 101. You can ignore that 53. So Jimmy Allen now with a lone breakaway. He's going to make them work tonight. He goes under there 30. What? 31 seconds from Jimmy Allen. 35 for Lindley, Leach, Gilmore and Hepton. In fact, all the way down through past Smith, Lowe, Williams, Birmingham, all rolling that 35-second mark. Now, Daryl Williams saying, leave him to 5. That is a dangerous thing to do. The Wolf is on the offensive now. Jimmy can climb and he can descend. And that attack has broken that group up. We are now seeing that the pressure the Wolf is putting on. Taylor has gone here. Richardson is in trouble. Mantis is in trouble here. Woodall is in trouble. Lowe is even further back. Orrell has got spat out of this group. So is our official lap counter, Mr. Nunn. It looks like Martin's gone. Wilson, Spencer. Let's have a little look who else is down in here. Gale just a little bit further back. Ellis in that group. Singleton, Tiff, Fletcher. Now this group needs to get themselves into a second big pack. If they can form a big group 2, they have a chance of closing in on that group in front. They are substantially bigger in number than the riders off the front. And then a little further back you can just see Hager, Kieran, Malin. It is all over the road. Now that attack there that came from our yellow beacon has absolutely annihilated the entire group. He's been reabsorbed, but now Ozikaya squeezes off the front. So Jimmy Allen pulled back into the group, and that attack by Jimmy has really taken this group away. The group behind are having a real hard time, and you can just see if we zoom the map out top right hand side of your screen, we are now starting to play dot to dot behind as all of those gaps open up. So leading a group, Jimmy Allen in here. The yellow beacon really has ripped this to pieces. Dale Williams just sat on the back at the moment. He's not going anywhere, and we're just seeing a few little digs coming from the group, but we're not far off heading into the climb. This is where it's going to be really interesting. Who hasn't expended too much energy? Who has not put too much effort in? Can this group, this is group number 2 at the moment, can they pull back group number 1? That gap is not all that big in front, and they're certainly going to be mopping up anybody who gets ejected out from group 1. You can see in front that is it's just a tiny gap. It's nothing at all, and anyone gets spat from group 1, they're going to be quickly into the clutches of group 2. So this is going to be very interesting as we come up onto the climb. Very big gap now open behind group 2. Group 3 just come onto that straight, but if we take a little bit of a look round this corner, group number 1, well, they're only just in front, and group 2, they need to work here because they could actually get back in touch, certainly close enough for a strong rider to bridge across. So here we go, group 2 chasing a group number 1, nothing to choose between them. You can just see Saxton there, OZK keeping it relatively together up on the front, the Von Top in the background. Freudian slip there. As these riders come through, Genther just tucking himself up onto the front, keeping that pace high in this group, just trying to keep clear of those chasers behind that gap, sitting at 5 seconds at the moment. Ben Kokin leading the charge. There's nothing in there. There's absolutely nothing in there. And this group at the moment, well, they are going to be really in danger of getting caught. I think there's going to be about 15 to 20 riders in this group. They're not going to stay there for very long, as we now see Genther again. He goes on the front, just squeezes on those pedals, and all of a sudden everybody else is left wanting. They've got to get across to him. They can't afford to give him too much ground on this climb. He's on a really aero bike as well. And the initial glitches that meant it had gone slower because of the change of groups that have been ironed out. It's back to being one of the fast bikes, as we see Daryl Tatchell-Waller coming up onto the front now. So Tatchell-Waller goes on. Group 2 have almost made contact. They are within touching distance. It's a fractions of a second, but this is where we hit the climb, and this is where the big guns are going to come out to play. I think Genther now starts to squeeze, but we're seeing Hepton come up over the top now. So Hepton starts to make a move. He goes up on to the front, and Tom Hepton currently at 4.8 watts per kilo. Mason is on here. Has he got the climbing ability to last till the end? It's not as long as his home turf as Box Hill, but I think now we see this is the hot favourite on this climb. Matt Gilmore, all the pressure on this young man's shoulders, lumped right down on there, and at the moment, because he's the hot favourite, he's got a bright yellow jersey. It's a target for everybody else. You can just see in the back of this pack. I think that's going to be Morn just going off the back. I can just see Jimmy Allen. He's just about hovering at the back of the group, but Gilmore closed down. Are we going to see it come down to a sprint? Because at the moment, nobody's broken away. We're only on the early slopes. Remember, there's a lot of zigzags to go. Kieran Smith, interestingly, using a power-up to get across there. So rather than expend all of his own energy, he went across with a power-up, trying to just minimise the effort it took to get across. Jimmy Allen's group now has become group number 2. Group number 1 is this breakaway group on the front. You can just see Elliott in the white jersey there going up onto the front. Birmingham in the black on the yellow Trombite moves up now over the top. You can just see Callum Riley goes up on to the front here. Now is Riley going to stick it to me? He was really quite hiding away in there. This is Norm the Bear. This is a Bear coached rider. It's one of the Downing Cycling coach squad in Callum Riley. And Riley's got a gap. He's got 1 second on Gilmore. Now this is going to do some damage behind. And you're going to see bodies getting shed from that pack. Gilmore comes across to Riley. And he closes that gap down. Are we going to see 2 or 3 riders break away? Now Kieran Smith closes down on that gap as Riley goes up. Gilmore on his heels. You can still see right beside him Lindley just moves up on their right-hand side here. So it's Lindley pushing up towards the front. So the finishing line is the Marina Sprint. That's where we're going to get to. It's the very first line we came through. So Marina Sprint is key here. You've got to get in to the centre of town. It's going to be a fast downhill running. Now we've seen people break away on these upper slopes. At the moment, this group is just about holding all together here. You can just see Mark Ketteringham just jumping onto the back of the group. I think that a little bit easing the pace, just allowing him to get back in here. John Wild is in here. John giving away a few years to some of these younger riders, but absolutely giving nothing away in terms of power and speed and strength. He's absolutely amazing rider and looking very strong. Darryl Tatchell-Wall on the front now. Phil Ozike comes up on the side. Ozike in the blue with the flat cap goes through. Now everybody's coming through. Nobody's making a move. This is as cagey. I've not seen anything like this for a while on the chain gang. It is, no one wants to make that move. Nobody wants to go too early and blow the socks off. And at the moment, we are coming up. We have got 2 sharp right-hand turns, then the finish, and we turn right down onto the slope. So 2 rights, 2 sharp lefts. We're going to hit the KOM point. The riders know exactly where it is. They've been up here already today. Tom Elliott leading them up this climb. Gilmore in the yellow, poised and waiting. Nobody giving any kind of ground now. John Wild goes on to the front. Hepton moves up to the front. Genther's in and hovering. Riley's just at the back of this group at the moment with Ketteringham. Now Ozike pushes up a little bit. He wants to be in prime spot as they come into this left-hand turn. The corners are running out here. Now Kieran Smith goes on the front. Smith starts to wind it up on the front. He's gone to the front. Is he going to try and ride them all off? He's eased back a touch here. And now Kieran Smith puts a big kick in. He goes up into the red. But remember, we've got 1 right, 1 left-hand turn. And you can see everybody now knows that time is running out. Can they break clear? It's slightest gap as you go over the top. It only needs to be a metre or 2, and they could open this up. They could get the gap that they need, but at the moment nobody looks to have the power. This group is really well matched as they come up and round this turn. Now Kieran Smith has got the feather engaged as he comes up and through. So it is it's Darryl Tatchell-Waller going on. My apologies, Darryl. What a time to use that power up. Saw the orange trombite, thought it was Kieran Smith. It's not, it's Tatchell-Waller who's got on. Kieran Smith is left behind, and this is where the gaps are going to open. Anyone with a gap has to work incredibly hard now. They can't afford to let any gaps go at this stage. Tatchell-Waller leads over the top. Then it's Gilmore. It's going to be Lindley. It's going to be Kieran Smith. They've got a fractional gap as they go over the top, but look at the quick chase down. That is a real fast chase down. Everybody's trying to get on the wheels here. Now Craig Genther goes into that super tuck position. It's all about getting down, right? Easing off those pedals at 0 revs per minute. You need more than 58 kph and a steeper incline than 3%. We've got that at the moment, but you can't hold it all the way into the bottom. This is allowing Ozike just to tuck in and get back into this group. They're taking a big group. We've normally seen a solo breakaway at this stage as they come in and through. And at the moment, this group is all together. It's a little further back. There's Ollie Saxton, Tom Elliott, Calvin Riley, along with Mark Ketchingham, have got shelled out of this group, but they're still nearly a minute in front of the second big group on the road. So our leaders on this descent, they're absolutely hurtling the way down here. You can see at the moment this is about dropping your heart rate down. It's about easing off the pressure. If we drop back, you can see just how fast those gaps have opened up. If we drop back to Elliott, he's got Saxton on his heels at the moment, but they're nearly at the full length of the next straight to our leaders who are already taking that right-hand turn. A little further back, then it's going to be Riley and Ketchingham. Then I think Jimmy Allen's going to lead the next group up over the top. And the gas opening up. Neil from the crosscast having to put in a massive effort here to get onto that group. You can see 9 watts per kilo coming out. But at the very, very front of the ride at the moment, you can see this group is together and you're not going to break clear here. It takes a phenomenal amount of power to make your way clear at this stage. So Craig Genther leading this out. Matt Gilmore in the mix. Pelosi K in here. Daryl Tatchell-Waller, John Wilde, Tom Hepton, Matt Gilmore, Kieran Smith, Neil Birmingham, Tom Lindley. This is a real cast of fast riders. It's going to be incredibly tricky to call who's going to get this. We've already said this would have gone clear. But we're now on that run down. You can see in front of the bridge there is a surefire indicator. This is now about timing. This is about making sure that you get the sprint timed to perfection. You cannot afford to go too early. You're in trouble. You go too late, you'll miss the jump when you need it. You want to be sat in the slipstream as long as possible. Of the riders here, we're going to roll in with Kieran Smith. We're going to see he's a hot favourite when it comes to a sprint, but Gilmore's got a phenomenal kick. He has ripped it up. We've seen it in the Fuego Flats. We've seen him working as we've done out and back and taking a sprint. He gets his timing right if he gets that gap. He's known to go early. Will it be an early kick today from Gilmore? Gilmore's in the yellow. Genther now starts to wind it up on the front. He goes up to nearly 8 now. Gilmore has gone early indeed. Gilmore's gone really, really early. He's put the kick in. So it's Gilmore leading this out. It is going to be Lindley who's in second wheel in the orange. Kieran Smith is in the black here. And it's about getting that timing right. Lindley could take this. He's got the kick. He's got the gap. Can he hold off Kieran? Kieran's coming behind him. Kieran Smith is coming. They're going to come to the line. Kieran Smith just rolls Lindley on the line. So close to Lindley. Then it's Gilmore in third place. Osakay in fourth. Wild in fifth. Birmingham in sixth. Hepton in seventh. Tatchell was going to take eighth. Genther 9. Elliott, well, he's going to be in, I think, in that battle for the top 10 with Saxton. Who's going to get it? It's going to come between these two. It was a real fast finish there. That was an amazing group finish. And Kieran Smith just got that timing right. What a ride by Lindley. Now Saxton goes. It's going to be between these two riders. Saxton's going to get this. He takes it from Elliott behind. You'll see exactly why nobody wanted to tow this man to the line. It is going to be Dale Williams going through underneath the gantries ahead of Ketchingham. Then it's going to be O'Reilly followed by Osmond. Another good ride by Osmond. He's got the bunch behind him. We're going to have Sam Emsley. We've got Gareth Mason in there. That's like Dobson goes through along with Jimmy Allen. Our yellow beacon coming in and through. So that was so close with Lindley. He hit 1,000 watts on his direct turbo train. And good ride there, Tom. But young Tom Lindley remains young Tom Lindley. He may lose that Tom tag when he gets his first win. That might have to be the day when we give him that now. The sprints are coming in thick and fast behind Mantis. Singleton comes through. Pearson comes through. This is going to be close behind him. Taylor is just about going to get this, I think. It's going to be Taylor who's going to take this ahead of Wilson. Or is it? It's going to be tight. Oh, it is on the line. Wilson just can't quite get past, and it's Sharp followed by Martin behind, though. They're coming at him. It looks to me like they're coming quicker. The question is, Martin got enough? Has he got enough? He's got it. No, he hasn't. It's going to be Morn who takes it from him. Then it's going to be our first female rider through. It's going to be top international one. It's Tiff Fletcher coming through. A great ride by Tiff there. Then it's going to be Gail coming through. And you can just see all these riders making their way in towards the line. Absolutely flying. Steve Wilson going through there. Greenway goes through. Forbes on his way in there. That was always entertaining. We knew it could well be a long one. It is Jimmy Allen who has led the gang through. He picked a really tricky time to fire off that go. And as we know, so we're loving it. Neil Long is clearly on some serious joke form. Howler of a ride as we see Forrester, Clark, Haggard and Malin come through. Then it's going to be a Gale behind. Gale with a little bit of a gap to Keyworth. So through goes Gale at the moment. He had that gap on Keyworth. Keyworth going to be our next rider in through the finish. Got 14 seconds on McCarthy. And it's going to be Nadoni and Purple Ronnie who should be in a sprint. So the smaller numbers and that good control by almost everyone, meaning that the riders did a great job of holding it together. So Nadoni goes up to the line, just holds off Purple Ronnie behind. We're then going to get a little bit of a gap back. I think Vin Donahoe goes through. He's going to be just ahead of Steve Hilbert. And it's going to be Simon, a long kick for the line, followed by Tim Cooper's clearly back on form. It's going to be Barry Kipling coming through ahead of Terminator 2.0. That's Tracy Seeley. He's just in ahead. It's going to be Kay and then Moore. And then it's going to be Garfoot. So John Garfoot's going to come in. Oh, he's going to get rolled as well here because it looks like Chris Ball getting his legs back after the weekend and going to just kick in through the line ahead of Garfoot. They've got the gap on Alistair Cootie and Bobby Mason. We're going to try and catch up with the Wolf. Not always the easiest thing to do, but we'll try and do that simultaneously as watching our riders come in. Always an entertaining one. So got Alistair Cootie heading in to the line. He's kicking in at 5 watts per kilo here, so a good finish by Alistair Cootie. And good finishes all round, including the Wolf, Jimmy Allen. James, how did you find that? Because that was a fast and long go.
Yeah, well, I've sort of got a bit of a reputation for going a bit longer than Russ, haven't I? So I just find that, on certain courses like this, it keeps everybody a bit more honest. Because even though it were early, people are a little bit more reluctant to go thrashing off the front. If there's a few more kilometres to cover, and especially with those climbs coming, you're thinking, I've got to keep myself a little bit fresh because it's so hard to get away on the flat, innit, on Zwift.
It's so hard to get clear on the flat or on the downhill. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
However, going in and through, I have to say, there's some amazing rides being done. Just seeing Bobby Mason on his skull and go through Owen Davis and Catlin and Stefano from Nonners. He's absolutely flying. Do you know what? He doesn't take long, but he's very quickly back up to pace. He's crazy, isn't he?
Knows the score, doesn't he? Yeah, he knows that. Knows how to ride a bike. It's just, we're hopefully. I've not been watching it, but it's. I think hopefully everybody found a group, and that's the other. Well, the hope of going long is that, especially on that flat bit, everybody can find a group and sort of riding together at
one
the
stage
pace.
going through the sprint and in towards the aqueduct, we were on 4 groups. Quite literally 4 groups at that stage.
Cool.
And then
Brilliant.
when we went beyond there, well, your attack up the aqueduct sort of was self-defeating in that case because that formed at least another 4 behind you. But then it came together again, and that second group, as you came into the bottom of the aqueduct, to the bottom of the petite KOM, they were only a few seconds behind you. So I think
that was
pretty close stuff, which was good to see. And then, of course, the climb. Now, we were expecting some long attacks on there, but maybe that early go would damp down people's legs because it came down to a sprint, which is really dangerous when you've got Kieran in there. Good ride by Kieran, but not entirely unexpected. Probably ride of the day, certain Mr. Young Tom Lindley, who remains Young Tom Lindley until he gets a win.
Heartbreaking for him. Yeah, I mean, we all love Kieran, of course. He's such a super lad. He's so strong, but he's not giving any gifts, and rightly so. He's got to win it fair and square. And yeah, Tom will get one, no doubt. He's getting better and better into. You can see every time he's getting so much better. And I mean, to beat Kieran though, you've got to get it perfect, haven't you?
You have. And really interesting to see that Matt Gilmore, who surprised everybody last week when we were on the out and back course, and he put in such an early kick. He was absolutely flying. He put the early kick in and he got clear and was putting in big numbers. He caught everybody napping. His timing today wasn't quite so good, and I think maybe he's going to be regretting that. But there's one thing you can guarantee: we'll be back in France at some point because it is a great course to ride on. We're in Paris, though, on Thursday after tomorrow's WOW DCG, and we're at the Champs-Élysées, but we're going the opposite way round, so that's going to be interesting because it's a downhill finish.
I'd not realised that, actually. That'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be good fun. So I didn't realise that, but throw a few sprints.
Yep, definitely. So we've got downhill sprint finish into the lap line. So we're not going to finish at the green at the top. It is at the lap line at the bottom. So 6 full laps, 7 times up the climb. It's going to be quite interesting to see just how much damage that does, because that downhill sprint could potentially be incredibly quick if there's a group.
Yeah, that's going to be really. I'm just going to say that I think, increasingly, week by week, people are beginning to know each other more and more closely. And, look at Kieran and Matt and Tom working each other out. And it's so close. You say if you make one error, you're not gonna get it, are you? So be a totally different dynamic on Thursday. Definitely. Something totally new, that won't it? Be interesting to see that.
Yep, going to be.
Might have to go for a long one. Get the old disc wheel on. Get Gareth going on the downhill. Get on his wheel, and then roll him.
Definitely. Well, Claire Jessup just finishing. Claire's going on holiday at the end of this one, so congratulations, Claire. Enjoy your holiday. Our Red Beacon and Jim Flynn making the way in. Jim, another good ride by Jim yet again, and not very far behind. I mean, we've only just started chatting, and the Red Beacon's on his way in. It's really, really quick, so good ride by Jim. And I thought today's job done by Jason Stevens, a cracking Red Beacon today. Of late, the Red Beacons have been amazing. They've absolutely got it nailed. They look after the riders who look after the game. They bring back those people who need their help. They ride. The communication's great, and they're watching the back all the time. And without them, the ride would be so much harder.
That's it. And thanks again, Jason. Thanks to everybody who's been doing it. It's like I think you said in commentary that it's the hardest job, without a doubt. Trying to keep an eye on things and trying to keep the pace just right. So, well done and great job.
Definitely, great job, and great job, Jimmy. Get those legs recovered, mate. You're going to need them for a little while longer, I'm afraid. So I hope our alpha male wolf is feeling strong for Thursday. Good luck, mate.
feet up and roast dinner time. See you Thursday.
It is. Act like a pro. We'll see you then. Cheers, Jimmy.
See you later.
So our riders are just making the way in to the finish. It just remains for me to say a few thank yous. Massive thank you to Jimmy for standing in, to Jason, of course, for being our Red Beacon. Thank you all of our riders who played the game. Follow those instructions on the screen. It's really simple. The numbers don't matter. Watch that yellow beacon. That's absolutely critical to keeping the ride. That's why the Donny Chain Gang works so well. It's different from anything else out there. We are going to be back tomorrow with myself on the commentary. We're going to have Emma, who's our boss and in charge of the WOW DCG tomorrow. They're heading to Libby Hill after party, a route not used by the Chain Gang at all in either the women's or the men's. Going to be great to see how that plays out with the flat plateau start, then that screaming descent in towards that long run into the final climb up the cobble climb of Libby Hill. Going to be great to see that happen. That's actually the penultimate WOW DCG of the spring season. We then on Thursday going to Paris, as we said with Jimmy. We're going to be going the opposite round on the Latisse sprint on the Express, and we're going to finish on the lap line down at the bottom. So a downhill sprint finish busy day. If you want all of the heads up of where it's going, where all the routes are, you can help us keep the show on the road and help us make sure that everything rolls right the way through by making sure that you jump on and join the DCG gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. And everybody who joins, quite literally, all their donations basically mean that we don't have to spend quite as much of Russ and my own money in making it all happen. It's that simple. Because all of the kit, all of the screens, all of the keyboards, etc., everything that we have to keep on replacing because we keep wearing them out, all that looking after people, we can just keep on doing that. And it's all thanks to the members of the DCG gang. To say thank you, big discounts in there, big giveaways. This month giveaways from Fella Skin, from Nonnas, and from Gritty. And we will be bringing you all of those details. The members get those direct to their inbox along with all of the links. So no registering week after week, ride after ride. The easy way to do it. And you can find all of those links on the Donny Chain Gang webpage. You can find it on the Facebook page. Don't forget, whilst you're online, if you give me a follow at Matt Fixer Paint on Strava, on Zwift, as well as on Facebook. Oddly enough, you might get a little heads up on where some of our routes are heading, including today's ride. So if you watch to the end, there's a heads up where we're heading a little bit later on with today's ride. So you heard it here first from me, Matt Payne. Congratulations to Russ, the bear, to Lisa, his wife, on their newborn son. We'll see you soon, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow for the next Donny Chain Gang, the WOW DCG, live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel.